What is quantum Meruit and quantum Valebat? Now, frankly, these are Latin terms. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing Valebat correctly. It's spelled V-A-L-E-B-A-T. I looked up online before I hopped on here today to see how you pronounce that. There were differences of opinions because there's the Latin version, there's the American version. But let's talk about what these concepts mean. You might say, why should I care? Why should a business owner care about quantum Meruit and quantum Valebat? You should care because it's a really important legal doctrine that can protect you if you don't have a contract in place. So when you don't have a contract in place and you provide services or products for another person, you are entitled to reasonable compensation. Why? Because if you provide services, you're entitled to reasonable compensation under the common law doctrine of quantum Meruit. And if you provide products to somebody, you are entitled to reasonable compensation for those products even if you had no contract under the doctrine of quantum Valebat. What do these terms mean? Quantum means how much or quantity or volume. Meruit means the merit of something involved or the value of something involved. What is the value and the quantity that was provided? That's essentially what quantum Meruit means. So you are entitled to be provided payment for the value of the services that you provide. Let's talk about Valebat. What does that mean? In the context of quantum Valebat, Valebat means as much as it was worth, or the value of goods and products. So, let's say, for example, you may not have an actual contract. The other side says, I'm interested in 100 of these products shipped by Wednesday. And you then ship those products to the other party by Wednesday. And the other party says, you know what, I was interested. We don't have a contract here. I never agreed to pay for them, and we didn't even talk about terms and what the cost would be. And so under a contract law theory, you probably don't have a contract because you didn't have an offer with necessary specificity of terms and an acceptance of that offer. So you may not have a contract. But let's say the other side says, but I'm going to keep them because you willingly gave me these 100 products. So I'm going to keep them. Do you have a right to be paid for this? Yes. Under quantum Valebat, you have a common law right to be paid the reasonable value of the products you provided. Even though there is no contract, because the other side kept those products, you have a right to a reasonable payment for them. Likewise with a service. If the other side accepts the value of a service, you would have a right to be paid for that. Let's say, for example, that you are a painter and you're going home to home and you walk up to someone's home and you sit and talk with them about the color of the paint that they want and when you can complete it by, and you say, hey, I can start tomorrow morning. Everything seems good, but they never actually said, I accept, or great, let's do it. So you might have made a very clear offer. And then let's say they see you drive up the next morning to paint the house. You start unloading your paint, you put the ladders up on the house, you lay out the painting mats. It's very clear that you are about to start painting the house. And let's say the homeowner goes, ha ha ha, I never agreed to pay. We talked about what they would paint and maybe even what the cost was, but I never agreed to it. And so the homeowner just simply goes along gardening, maybe a nice little wave to the painter as the painter opens the paint cans and starts painting away. The homeowner might have a strong argument that there never was a contract. But under the doctrine of quantum meruit, the painter is entitled to payment, even though there's no contract. Because of quantum meruit, the painter is entitled to be paid for the value of the services received by the homeowner. The homeowner had an opportunity to say, no, don't paint, I never agreed to it, but instead just gave a little wave, implying to the painter there was no objection to the painter proceeding with the paint. That's hypothetical, but it gives you the idea of what quantum meruit is, and you'd be amazed how many times business owners don't have contracts and provide services or products for each other, and one side decides, well, they're not going to pay for it. Now, one thing to keep in mind with quantum meruit and quantum Valebat is you are entitled to be paid for the value of the services to the extent it provided a benefit to the other side. The payment amount is based on the benefit, not what it costs you, not what your standard prices are. And by the way, too, this is under the common law. There may be statutes in your state that provide additional claims or bases for relief. For example, the Uniform Commercial Code, known as UCC, provides for compensation if you are providing products. Now, there are certain rules around bringing that claim, but that is a very related doctrine. And so if you're suing, you would probably sue for quantum meruit if we're talking about providing services, or quantum Valebat if we're talking about goods and products. You would sue for promissory estoppel and breach of contract for both of those. And if you are suing for provision of contracts and goods, you would probably also sue under the Uniform Commercial Code in your state. So, quantum meruit, quantum Valebat, very important concepts for business owners to understand, because even if there is no contract, a party has an obligation to pay if they receive value in the form of goods or services from another party. If you are interested in a business owner and getting educated on common mistakes business owners make and how to avoid them yourself, you can go to aaronhall.com/free and sign up to get a number of videos and other resources to help equip you prevent problems in your business. This is for entrepreneurs, startups, business owners, CEOs. Generally, I'm thinking about companies with under 500 employees, even as few as 1 or 2. Because for you as a business owner or a future business owner, you can either prevent these problems or pay the much more expensive cost of having the problem and having to clean it up afterwards. The purpose of this YouTube channel is to help you avoid problems, grow your company, provide a great value to your customers and clients, create a great environment for the people that you work with, and experience the success that comes from having a good company built on best practices. I'm Aaron Hall, an attorney for business owners and entrepreneurs. If you have questions about any of this, feel free to put them in the comments section below. Look forward to seeing you next time.